Oh, check, check. All right, can you hear me now? I had to reset my audio, but I think it should be working now. Sweet. Well, I'm glad that not a lot of people were on here while I was talking to myself. So, everybody, anybody, whoever's out there, what's up? I just figured it'd be cool to hang out today, kind of shoot the shit, talk about horror movies, see if any of you guys have seen Army of the Dead since it just dropped on Netflix, or if you went like me last week and saw it in theaters, what you thought of it. So I'm surprised it's as mixed of a bag as it is, like from what I've been seeing. I thought a lot more people would have at least had fun with it like I did. It seems like too many people went into it expecting some kind of perfect movie. I don't really get that. It's a Zack Snyder movie. It's meant to be fun. So anyway, Josh, how are you? Now I look and sound pretty. Thank you. Yeah, I'm feeling this flowery fucking green summery shirt I found at the thrift store. So any word on when you're going to do another preview of your movie? If anybody's wondering, I got to look down here to my tablet because I don't know. I know there's a way to do it, but I haven't really set up a chat thing to where it's scrolling on my computer. And I'm worried that if I open up, let's see, if I open up this here, yeah, see, it messes with it. I don't know. I really need to learn more about how to do this live stuff. Sweet. Nice. I'll be back because I'm going to Alaska for a little bit, starting next Friday, but only for like a week. So I'll be back in plenty of time for that if that's when you end up doing it. But definitely looking forward to it. Yeah, I think you'll really enjoy Army of the Dead because you tend to kind of look at movies more like I do. Um, like you kind of appreciate movies for what they are, don't expect them to be what they're not, and like that's my issue with a lot of people and what they're saying about Army of the Dead. And it's like, come on, guys, like why would you expect there to not be some cheesy plot choices and cheese all over this? It's a zombie movie by Zack Snyder and it's a heist movie. Like you can just tell from the trailer what this is. It's not, like a lot of people I think were expecting it to be like his Dawn of the Dead, right? It was Dawn of the Dead that he did, right? Anyway, and it's not. It's just not that kind of story. It's not a serious situation. It's a much more action over the top. It's like an action movie meets a zombie movie. But I think it's so good. Like I was expecting it to be, and don't worry, I won't spoil it for anybody out there that hasn't seen it yet. But I was expecting it to be maybe like World War Z, and I actually thought this was way better than World War Z. This movie to me was a lot more fun. It had just everything I was hoping it would. I mean, it's got a giant freaking zombie tiger. I mean, it's got a zombie Elvis. Like, why would you watch those things and then somehow expect it to be this more serious film? I don't know. I know I get trolled by people a lot. The plot's fun if you just kind of accept it for what it is. It just has some plot holes. There's like one scene in particular. I won't spoil anything, but there's one scene in particular where when you watch it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Where there's this relationship, so to speak, between some people that just kind of comes out of nowhere, and you're just like, what? That doesn't fit with the movie. It doesn't make any sense, and it leads to some other kind of silly plot choices. But it's only a small section, so it's kind of like you can nitpick it, but I don't understand doing that. It makes no sense to me. Like there's just little things like that, but the overall story is just fun. It's very much like I said in my review. It's very much like a graphic novel. It reminds me of almost like a cartoon graphic novel type of thing. Yeah, it's not as cheesy as Ghost of Mars though. Like I do love Ghost of Mars, but this is definitely not that schlocky, campy. It is definitely better done than that, but it is still fun in that way, if it makes sense. Let's see. Nether Bat. I'm probably gonna end up watching it sometime soon. Love different takes on zombie. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, like, if you were someone who, even if you're someone that doesn't really like zombie movies, I'd still watch this. But if you're someone who enjoys zombie movies, especially the unique ones that have like a unique spin, then I think you're definitely gonna enjoy it. It really has some really unique takes on the whole zombie genre, and it's weird, man. To me, I was so excited and impressed with the fact that he was able to find a way to inject like new life into this super dead subgenre of zombies. Because like I've gotten so bored of zombies, and this has new life. It makes it fun. It adds some twist to it and changes things up just a little bit, adds a few new rules and that kind of thing. That not only did I enjoy it, but it made me excited for the prequel stuff that they're in works on. There is already, I mean, a contract with Netflix signed, I guess. I don't know if they're actually going into pre-production yet, but they're already at least working on the script for some kind of prequel situation. It hasn't been announced if it's, or it hasn't leaked, if it's a series, like it could be a Netflix series, or if it's a movie, or if it's a couple movies or what, but definitely something to do with this and prequels. And after you see it, you'll understand why it's so important that we see prequels, because there's this huge, like, all this story that you can see had happened prior to this movie. You really want to know the details of how this got to this situation. So who's all out there? I see it shows me a few, but so far I've only seen a couple comments. So get in the conversation, yo. And what are some movies you guys have seen? I need some recommendations. I'm always looking for recommendations. I mean, I have a super long list, but I have this balance where I have to find a way to watch movies when it kind of fits the mood I'm in, but yet still watch a ton of movies so that I can, add them on list, review them, whatever. So the more I have on a rec list, it helps me out a ton. Gives me more choices. Let's see. I love fun spins. Yeah, zombies can be really boring if it sticks to the same formula. As you said, I'd be glad to learn more through prequels too. Yeah, like the most fun part of this movie. I mean, I really enjoy the whole damn thing, but the very beginning, that first like 15 minutes or whatever, is as fun as anything. I can't say it's more fun than anything, but it's as fun as anything in the rest of the movie, because there's just so much packed into this tiny chunk, and you're just like, God, I want to see more of that. I want to see more of this over the top Vegas, zombie outbreak, like all the crazy, whatever, that insanity that would be, you want to see more of that. So like, it's exciting, and he does a great job of it the way he does it for this, but I definitely like to see a full-length movie with more of that. Or honestly, I would rather see a series. I'm a really big fan of series these days. I feel like you can do so much more with a series, and they're just getting better and better and better. And just seriously, some of the best stuff I've watched recently in the last few years have been series. And I just think there's more that could be done with that even. I might just watch it tonight. You're making me real hyped to say. Yeah, I mean, I really think you're going to enjoy it, as long as you don't go into it expecting something that it's not. And that's what I don't get. Like, this is the same guy who did 300, Watchmen. This is Zack Snyder. Like, it's very big explosions, and and fun, kind of over the top stuff with these crazy panoramic shots, and there's a real big focus on a lot of that. But I don't know. It's fun. I think you're definitely gonna have fun with it. I wish I enjoyed Spiral as much as I did, because last week I went and saw both and then reviewed both, and I probably knock on the camera. I'm probably gonna rewatch Army of the Dead tonight, but I have no desire to rewatch Spiral. Like I don't. I'm sure I'll end up having to watch it again someday, like for something like to review the whole Saw franchise. Like I've been thinking about starting to do that, just reviewing like a whole franchise, like one movie of a whole franchise each week, and tackle some of the big franchises. I just think it would be fun in that completionist way to just review these huge franchises. I'm thinking about starting with Halloween, because that way I could do the whole series reviewed and leading into the brand new one in October. I think that would just be really cool. But it's daunting because there's like 9 or 10, or no, 13. There's 13 Halloween movies if you count Rob Zombies. So, and I've seen them all at least one point or another in my life, but I want to do a rewatch of each one and then review it. So I think I'm going to do it. I'm just not 100% yet, but because so far the only series I've done a complete review of each one was Phantasm. But I would like to start doing more of that. I just don't get very many views from doing those videos, so that's why it's hard for me to justify doing it, because it's hard to put all these hours of work into something. Excuse me. It's hard to put all this work into it and then get like 20 views. Like the one video I did this week of the animated movie on Shudder, and it's cool. It was a cool enough movie. The animation wise, it was worth a watch. The movie itself is not great because it's slow and kind of long and whatever, but the animation was dope as fuck. But yet I got like 25 views on it, so it's hard to put all that work into it and then almost no one sees it. So, but I think it would be fun to start doing that. So there's a good chance I'm going to do that. So you'd like me to do the Halloween one? Oh hell yeah, dude! I Halloween 3 is for so many years. People talked so much crap about this movie, and there was like no fans of it. Nobody got it, and then over the last 10, 20 years, whatever, I've started seeing more and more people appreciating it and enjoying it, and that I just could not be happier about, because it's one of my favorite movies. I love it. It's so dumb and schlocky, but it's so magical in a silly Halloween way that I love. Like, I'm a Halloween junkie. But all right, if you're down to watch it, and you'll promise to watch each one of the reviews, then I will do it. I'll start this week, and I'll start doing one Halloween review a week, and up until October, and then I think I'll do probably a Halloween ranking. So I'll just like rank all of the Halloween movies and then do a review, or I'll probably review Halloween Kills and then do a ranking, something like that. Let's see here. I'm behind on the Saw franchise. I enjoyed them, but got a little overstimulated like Marvel. I'm like 2 to 3. Yeah, I've seen all the Saw movies, but I'd say the last 2 of them, no, probably last 3 of them, it just felt like I was watching basically the same formula over and over and over, and each movie was really just about how can we make more bloody, gross kills, and I'm just not all into that. It's not that I don't enjoy that, I do. Like, and in this new Spiral, that's one thing I did appreciate about it, was the kills were, I thought, really well done. There isn't a lot of kills, and I've heard a lot of people complaining about that, and there is, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 of the kills that are not the greatest, but in general, I thought these were pretty cool kills. And I did like what they were trying to do with with this movie, because they were trying to do it in this more detective, serious, mysterious. He's trying to solve a mystery, figure out who done it, that kind of thing. And I appreciated that, because that goes back to more of what Saw started on and what made like the original Saw really cool. There's just problems with this movie, and it doesn't have to do with the idea. Like the your general concept, I think would work, and I think it's great. It's just like I had a hard time buying Chris Rock. I've heard a lot of people really enjoyed him, but for me, I just could not get past him being a comedian, and I felt like he was just trying way too hard. He walks through the whole movie. I don't even know if I could do it, but he walks through the whole movie just with this scowling, angry face. I mean, I can't even do that. I have such a goofy look on my face all the time. But yeah, just the scowl and angry every scene, and just it was just so obvious that he was trying to be this, really hardened, badass cop, and that's just not who he is. And then, I mean, at least by the halfway point, I think you could probably figure it out even sooner than that. But at least by the halfway point, you figure out who the killer is. I mean, it's really, really obvious, especially by the halfway point. And there's just, things like that, and the acting in general, like some of the other actors, I didn't think were that great in it. The ending is questionable. It really leaves it like they're really wanting there to be another one of these, another like a sequel to this. And I just not a big fan of that, because it's like, what if people don't like this? And a lot of people are not digging this Saw movie, this Spiral. And so what if they never make another one? Now you have this fucking movie that has this kind of open-ended ending that we never see a conclusion to. So it's something I'm also not a big fan of. Like, if you leave it open-ended but still with a closure, like it's closed but there could be more, that I'm okay with. But when you leave it like it's literally a cliffhanger, dude, come on, seriously? So, yeah. All right. Yeah, I've never been a fan of the Hostel movies. And I couldn't figure it out for the longest time. And then recently I discovered what it is. I'm not a fan of depressing movies. Like movies where you're just simply watching people tormented the whole damn time. There's no joy in it of any kind. There's no fun of it of any kind. And like even at the end, you do a little bit, I guess, with the Hostel movies, but it just wasn't enough. You just don't get enough of that release for me anyway, to make it worth it. And it's just like, let's just watch people getting tortured for 2 hours. And it's like, it's not like it bothers me. Like, oh my God, I can't watch them. Like, I've watched them. I'm just not a fan of it. It's just like, eh. Like, I just watched Saint Maud. I don't know if any of you guys have seen Saint Maud yet. And I do recommend it as far as a beautifully done, extremely well made art type of movie that's, very artsy, so to speak. I highly recommend it. I mean, it's A24, but it's so bleak and depressing. Like the whole movie just, and then when it's slow, like it's also one of those very slow moving, dark, depressing kind of movies that, it's a hard one to watch. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, it's a good movie, but it's just, man. Like, by the end, you're just like, now I'm depressed. I'm going to go slit my wrist now. Like, even, what movie was I trying to think of? That other A24 one. It doesn't matter, but let's see. Me too. Yes, to me, it's like a solo movie of Dr. Gordon. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, who do you mean by Dr. Gordon? You're talking about the doctor from Hostel? I'm bad with names. So you got to tell me, like I never remember the names of characters from movies. Like, it doesn't matter. And some of it is maybe because I watch so many movies, but I'm just bad with names in general. Like when I meet people, I forget their names like almost instantly. Like it's an issue. I think it goes back to the music days when I was doing music with Josh actually. And I would meet so many people at shows, and it just got to where my brain just started dumping names off. It just thought, hey, these aren't super important. They're not as important as other things I got to remember. So we're just going to start dumping off names when they come in. I don't know. But ever since then, when I was in like my early 20s, I just really struggled with remembering names. Let's see here. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, well, that's what it's so like. I don't know. Did you see Spiral? Because it's so hard to know like what the right way to necessarily go with the Saw franchise would be. Because on one hand, it would be nice to see the series go forward using some of the characters, like like you said, Dr. Gordon, um, or at least someone who's familiar or someone who we recognize from the Saw series, that would be cool. But then again, it's also, I like the idea, like Spiral tried to do, of a totally fresh new start with new characters, with a similar premise, and still have the traps and things like that, but with new characters to try to breathe fresh life into it. Because, I mean, dude, we've had 8 Saw movies, so it's like they're trying to see if we could do something new. I just don't think they did it with Spiral at all, especially if you're going to go forward with Chris Rock. Like, dude, I I would be shocked if Chris Rock is in more of these. Like, if there's a sequel to this with Chris Rock, like, I would be shocked. Because I guarantee you the amount of money he's going to want to get paid for the little amount of money this movie made. Like, if there's a sequel, I think it's going to probably be a much, much, much lower budget than this. And isn't that what kind of worked with the Saw movies in a way? Like, I think I loved the first Saw because it was so simple, and it had to mentally mindfuck you. It couldn't just do all these elaborate, glossy, crazy, over-the-top stuff. It had to kind of close everything down and make you feel more of this claustrophobic horror. Like, I like those smaller indie movies a lot of times. I swear, when these movies are successful and then they go and try to make this bigger budget thing, a lot of times it loses its magic. Anyway, I'm ranting, but hey, Chrissy, it's better to be late than never or something, right? Isn't there like a saying? It's better to be late than never. Isn't that a saying, or am I just tripping? Either way, welcome to the party, pal. And this is a diet rock star because I'm on a fucking diet, sugar free. And I've lost some weight. I'm actually in a large right now, which is insane. I can't remember the last time I was able to wear a shirt that's a size large. Like, it's insane. Especially since before COVID. I thought Phantasm 2 was my favorite. I felt the rest. I love the original Phantasm. And Phantasm 2 was very different. And to be honest, I think I love them both equally, but just they're both very different. After 2, you had to be invested in the story and the characters to keep on that ride, because they did lose their budget and there were some pretty bad moments, but they each had their own fun elements too, and their own like great things that made them worth watching too. Like, I don't know, I honestly enjoyed the whole entire Phantasm series. I even enjoyed the very last one, but like I said, I wouldn't try to argue they're great films or anything. I do think that the first and the second one are actually really great horror movies. I think the original is legendary, and I feel like it's just misunderstood by a lot of people, because it's meant to be like a nightmare. It's meant to be like a dream. And so there's this really weird thing that a lot of people don't understand, that the whole thing is meant to actually have been a dream. And so at the end is when Jodie actually finally wakes up. So the timelines, everything is all twisted because it's not actually reality. And that's just this really interesting thing about it. But the second one is a really well done, fun horror movie with great characters, great pacing. I mean, it's got a better budget, and I love the second one. I just, like I said, I just feel like I love them just differently. Let's see. Cheers, sir. Congrats on the weight loss. Whatever. I need to lose another at least 20. I want to get down to right around 200 pounds again. I used to be like, when I was a comfortable weight, I was like 205, 210. And then during COVID, I got up to like 240 something. Anyway. It was about the balls to me. Yeah. The spheres, man. So sick. I've always wanted, they sell these replica spheres that if you push a button, the like blade thing will pop out on them. It'll like do its thing or whatever. I've always wanted those. Like, I've seen a couple different artists that make those on Etsy and stuff, but they're usually really expensive because I don't want a plastic one. I want to get one that's actually made of stainless steel or whatever. But yeah. So I love the uniqueness of the Phantasm series. Love it or hate it, it is definitely its own thing. It's different than any other horror franchise out there, and I love that for that. And Tall Man to this day is still like soft spot in my horror heart. Like, and that's why I consider Phantasm to be my favorite movie. I'll never argue it's the best horror movie, because to me the greatest horror movie is The Thing. But as far as my favorite horror movie, I always say Phantasm. I want a pair of spheres to hang from the car mirror. That'd be great. They look like fucking ball sack, but they're those. Or you could hang them from the like tailgate on a truck. Like people, the little ball sacks, but instead it's the silver orbs. Ugh, man. Oh, Josh, while I have you, I know you're busy and you have all this stuff with your kids and everything, but is there a way that we can meet up and you can help me figure out, because I have what is actually a really good mic that I spent a lot of money on, that I use, this mobile mic. It's the Shure. Yeah, got these cables all stuck to it. Sorry, guys. Yeah, get off. So I got the Shure. What is it? The name's not on it. Oh, the MV88 Plus, and it connects into my phone, and I'm happy for now recording my videos that way. But I need help getting the EQ set up right on it. I feel like my voice is just too tinny and whiny, and I want to add a little bass to it. And if I can't do it with this mic, that's fine. I wanted to convert over to doing everything on my computer, but unfortunately, finances got all screwed up, and I haven't got a paycheck of any kind now for like going on 2.5, almost 3 months. So I can't afford anything right now, but hopefully eventually I'll get a new laptop so that I can still do what I wanted to do. But at least for now, I mean, that mic, cost me almost $300. I'd like to at least get what I can out of it. So I was wondering if you could help me try to figure out how to dial it in to get it to sound as good as it can. Like, I don't know if that's something you could do virtually without having to actually meet up with me in person. I don't really know how that could be possible, but I don't understand how the EQ works on it, Like, let me see if I could actually show you what I'm talking about. Watch, I'm doing all this and Josh is not even here. He like left. That would be great. So what are all of you guys doing today? Like chores or watching the movies or what you all up to. What you all up to? Oh man. Of course, when you're trying to do something, there we go. Motive. So this is what I'm talking about. The equalizer. So it has the app. I hope you could see that. And that's the equalizer on it. But it has all these different settings, and I just can't quite figure out the combination to get it to sound right. And I know you know quite a bit more than I do about audio tech and recording and all that shit. So I really, really would appreciate that if you could help me somehow. What do you mean by curve? Your neck tat. My neck tat. A low cut filter. I think it's one of my favorites. The thing is great, yes, but can appreciate the creature from. Oh, I fucking absolutely love the Creature from the Black Lagoon. Like, it is my favorite as far as the black and white classic Universals. It would be Creature from the Black Lagoon and then Wolfman. And then, I don't know, I'd have to think more about the tier list going from there. But I love Universal movies so much. That's what I grew up on. To me, that's my go to sleep at night. Literally every night I go to sleep watching old classic sci-fi and horror. Like, I absolutely fucking love classic stuff like that. Love it so much. So yes, I love him. But back to this. So I'm sorry, trying to follow what you're saying, Josh. Some have little bumps in the curve. I don't understand what that means. Awesome channel, bro. Thank you so much, man. I'm trying. That's why I want you guys involved more, as much as possible. The more I get you guys involved, the better channel this can be. So, like, well, I have any of you guys, if you're interested, Chrissy's a member of my Patreon, but I have a Patreon, which even for $1, it's first platform is $1, and you get to see the early releases, and then it goes to $5 where you get to request a movie I review, and then you know other platforms too if you want. But mostly I'm trying to get people over there because yes, it helps me be able to afford to live. But more than that, it can build this VIP group of people that really can honestly, like, I call you guys my patrons, my producers, my executive producers, because you legitimately are the people I go to first to help me decide what to do next and what we can do on this channel. So figured I'd mention that since anybody watching this now or possibly later. Anyway, I have a hard time promoting myself. But, yes. I love The Invisible Man too. That would be so fun. All right, never mind. I figured your mic has a switch direct on the microphone. No, it runs all on an app. Like, it's the top of the line that Shure has right now as far as external mics for the iPhone. So it has a ton, and that's why I'm struggling with it, because it's a different setup than what I'm used to. So a lot of the help, because you know how it works with audio. The truth is, it's kind of trial and error. You got to kind of test things. And I know you have a really good ear for sound recording, especially, and music too. So, like, hearing me talk, you could help me kind of dial in what works best for my voice. And that's where it's really hard to do that on your own. It's hard. It's like, even back in the music days when I try to EQ my mic for my vocals, like, you would always get my vocals to sound way bigger and better, and I always somehow find a way to make my vocals sound tinny and nasally, and I have a deviated septum, but I try to get it to sound as good as possible. One of these days I'll put some torches up my nose, and then I'll just be all baritone like this. Hey guys, you like my voice better like this? There's actually some YouTubers that I didn't even know this was a thing, but there's actually YouTubers out there who disguise their voice. Like, they'll actually do weird things and make people think that's their natural, normal voice. That just seems so odd to me. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe that's not that weird, but it's very weird to me. The only kind of phony thing I do is I put shit in my beard because on camera it looks so translucent. You see right through it. But if you like put some stuff in it, it makes it to where you can actually see that I have a beard and that it's not just all these holes and patches. And I've thought about dyeing it, but I'm like, man, I don't want to deal with that because I'm cool with how it looks. It's just on camera, it looks so weird with the little circle light, whatever you call it. I don't know. Hopefully you guys can understand what I'm talking about. Me and my excitable hands. Woo! Like my sister told me, she was like, sometimes you look like you're a helicopter or a bird and you're going to fly away. My excitable hands. But I'm so excited. I get to go to Alaska next week and finally see my nephew. He's almost 1 year old. And I've wanted so bad to see him in person. He's the cutest damn thing in the world. But I haven't been able to go. I was supposed to go last summer, me and my sister, to see my other sister have him. But with COVID, and then I had health issues, I ended up not being able to go. So finally getting to go, leaving a week, less than a week now. But yeah, look at my little nephew. Look at that cute fat little baby face. Look at him. Is that the cutest thing ever? Look at him. His name is Beck. Yep. Shout out to my sister Abigail. That's her little baby boy, Beck. Anyway, thank you for your patience while I talk about my lovely little nephew. All right, it's back to you guys. That's a really common thing for tubers and streamers. It's part of entertainment. I did it when I was working. Okay, I get that. That's different. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Wolfila. He's probably my favorite YouTuber. And he puts on a whole persona. He actually wears a costume. That's different. Like, that's completely different to me. Like, if you're going to do a character, I'm talking about people that are pretending that this is their normal self, if that makes sense. Like, this is my normal self, but in reality, they're super disguising their voice or whatever. That just seems weird to me. I mean, it's fine, dude, if that's, you know, whatever's clever, man. Like, for whatever you want to do with your life. Like, I'm not trying to judge in that way. It just seems weird to me. I never thought about disguising my voice, like trying to make it deeper or trying to add some graspiness to it or being, you know, I know a lot of comedians do that, like Bobcat Goldthwait and what's his name? That really famous Southern dude. But I don't know, it's just funny. Like, I get people all the time asking me if this is just for aesthetics, you know, if this is fake or whatever, and it's like, no, it actually, I wear it on a daily basis. Anybody knows me knows that, you know, a little over a year ago, I started wearing this, and I'd been talking about doing it for years, but the light helps me so much because this eye is almost blind, and it is crooked. It had an accident happen to it when I was a little kid, but it's just messed up. So the light and everything just gives me headaches, and it's just so much more comfortable. And I also, it gets old always seeing people looking at it and trying to figure out where I'm looking, and it's just a mess. So I was like, about a year and a half ago, I was like, done. Get in a patch finally. I've been talking about this my whole life, and I got this, and I love it. So no, it's not phony, fake for just looks. Like, you know, it is part of where I got the idea for the name Ghost Pirate, but the patch isn't like for a costume, if that makes sense. Anyway, so I hope that makes sense what I was trying to say. I'm really not trying to talk shit. All right, Chrissy says, have so much fun in Alaska with your nephew, or have so much fun. And sister, he's so cute. Love the name Beck. I know it's Beck, short obviously for my side of the family's last name, and I love that. It was a great way to where his, like, he's half Becker's side, my side or whatever, and then half her husband's side, and I love that. You know, I just thought that was such a sweet way, and a way for him to just be on both, you know, sides of the family. You know, it was real If it wasn't, you would have put on more of a costume. Right? Yeah, I actually originally wanted to wear a mask and every video. And so the first, like, I don't know, maybe 50 videos that I posted, if you go back and you look at the early videos, I wear a mask on every opening, you know, when I do my Welcome to Ghost Pirate Entertainment. And I love that. And I didn't do it because I didn't want people to see me. I just did it because I love masks. Even when I was in music, my not all my bands, but one of my bands, we would wear, you know, face paint and costumes or whatever, just because it's fun, man. This is like cosplay. Like I love all that stuff. But then over time, I got to where I was like, man, I just want to be me, like on this channel. You know, I don't want to worry about a mask every show and all that. I'd rather just wear the clothes that I wear, be me, and it helps me just have more fun, I guess is the best way I can put it. Thank you. I know, I love that little dude. I just can't wait to finally see him in person. It's been brutal. Like, I'm sure all you guys have gone through stuff along this lines too. Like, just with COVID and not being able to see people and not be able to travel. And when you do travel, like, it's a nightmare. But I'm fully vaxxed now. Got my stupid vaxxed card, which I don't know. This world we're in is very strange. But I got my vaxxed card. And at least now I don't have to worry about where, you know, traveling and that being an issue or whatever. It should be a lot less of an issue, I guess. Yeah, and that was a lot of the advice I got. I've talked to a couple bigger YouTubers, especially in horror, who've been gracious enough to give me advice and just, like, I'm telling you, you guys know this, I'm sure, but the horror community, like, yes, there are trolls out there, people that annoy the hell out of all of us. You know, you see them all the day and or every day in the horror groups. Like, there's always these haters and that just love to talk, you know, shit about everything. But some of the greatest people in the entire world that are just so gracious and humble and just genuinely great human beings are in horror. It's one of the things that has made me always love horror, but once I started this channel and dove headfirst into this whole world, one of the things that's just made me fall in love with it, like, so much, and to the point where I'm like, this is me. This is literally a part of my life now. Like, I will be doing this channel until someone pries my phone or camera or whatever out of my cold dead hands, you know, because it's just become a part of me now to do this. Like, I love the connection to people. I love being able to understand films from all these different angles, from the fan's perspective, from the filmmaker's perspective, from the little guy on the sidelines, you know, working on lighting or whatever, you know, the special effects people, like, all these different layers, you know, the people that are involved in conventions. Like, I just love it all, and I love how connected so much of it is. Like, one of my favorite things now is Friday nights and all these different people all over Facebook and Twitter all enjoying Joe Bog Briggs at the same time. And then one of my favorite YouTube channels, a guy that I've only talked to a little bit, but he's amazing, is Dr. Wolfilla, like I mentioned a little bit ago. And he got a silver bolo a couple weeks ago, and he was just so excited. I think I was actually the first person to congratulate him. Like, he didn't even realize he had gotten it. He went to the bathroom, and while he was in the bathroom, they announced it. And he went back and didn't even realize it until me and I guess a few people started messaging him and saying, dude, congratulations. And he was just like, what? Luckily, he was able to go back and watch it and get a recording of it. But yeah, like, that's a dream of mine, is someday is to get a silver bolo, you know, like, dreams, right? You know, like 10,000 subscribers is one of my very first goal is 4,000 watch hours. And you guys are helping out a ton. I just reached the halfway point just the other day. So I'm getting closer, especially because basically in like 3 months time, I went from like 500 watch hours to, or like 4 months time, I basically gathered the majority of this. So I just need everybody's help, you know, watching videos, like, put them on playlists, just watch them over and over, guys. But no, seriously, like, it's exciting, man. But yeah, I'm halfway there. My goal is to be there by Christmas time because it was a goal I made this past December because I was bummed out because in December, this past December, I hit the 1,000 subscriber mark, which I thought was really the only plateau that was the most important one. So I thought once I got that, I'd be able to get monetized. And I wasn't. Unfortunately, I realized then that nope, you need 40,000 or 4,000 watch hours. I thought it was 40. I don't know. I got confused on it, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, the point is, so I was like, at that moment, I'm like, I'm setting this goal. Like within 1 year, by this time next year, you know, I will reach that monetization goal. So, universe willing, and with all your guys' support and help, we will reach that by December. So we're at the halfway point now. So I think there is no doubt that we can hit that and get this channel monetized. Because then it's really on its way. Then it's like legit, you know, when it's an actual monetized channel, it's just seen differently, you know. People, I don't know, it's just different. Yeah, all right. So those of you out there are being very, very quiet now. So give me some movie recommendations, guys. What are some movies that you would like me to check out? Or TVs. Actually, I'd really love to find a new series. Like really badly. I'm super bored because I'm still really stuck in my house because of medical reasons and whatnot. I still can't really do much beyond making my videos and hanging out with you guys. So a series would be very cool to find a new series to binge. Let's see. I tend to have videos on in the background while I'm working on art. I'll start listening to your videos like that. That would be awesome, man. Thank you. Really, really appreciate that. Ah. All right. Chrissy says, word. What's AJ Cook? AJ Cook is Betty Badass? I'm not following. I do remember you posting a thing saying were. And I actually saw that, and I think I added it to my, like, you know, to watch later. What's it about? But what is AJ Cook is Betty Badass? Okay, so AJ Cook is an actress. AJ is an actress. Okay, but what's the Betty? Or do you mean pretty? So you mean AJ Cook is pretty badass. Okay. I think I follow now. And AJ Cook, I'm guessing, is in the movie Were? But what's Were about? I mean, I need some gum. I know you're not supposed to chew gum on camera, but I don't think you guys will mind. I quit smoking a little over 2 years ago. Gum, without gum, man, there is no way I could still be rocking this smoke-free life. So, but every now and then, like, I just gotta get a piece of gum in my mouth. You don't suck at this. I suck at spelling and typing. I'm constantly posting things wrong. And it's the worst when you realize after you just posted something to 30, 40, 50 groups, right? And realize you misspelled something or did something wrong and have to go back to all these groups and try to find them all and change them all and hope that not a lot of people saw it yet. I do that crap all the time, man. Oh, so I feel your pain. Oh, my sister's watching. My sister Leah. Hello, Leah. She's my rock. Without my sister Leah, I would literally be dead right now. So yeah. All right. Let's see here. Oh, it's about werewolves? Sold. Like, there's few things that I am more like, pretty much you say that, I'm on it, than werewolves. Like, it probably is my top list. That, well, sea monsters. Like, sea monsters and werewolves, like, I don't understand why there's not more. Werewolves, like, I don't understand why zombies became this huge thing where there's just way too many zombie movies, right? And yet there's still so few werewolf movies and series. Like, what? I feel like that could be done so well. I know there's supposed to be a really good werewolf movie coming. It's like something bits or coins or something like that. I forget what it's called, but there's supposed to be it's like silver coins or something like that. I really can't remember the name of it, but I know that it went around some of the indie movie circuits like last summer, the little tiny bits of ones that there were, and supposedly it's coming to Shudder this year, I believe. So there's supposed to be a good werewolf movie. Unfortunately, I don't remember the name of it, so I know this is not very helpful information, but all right. Yeah, I liked Slasher. I watched Slasher for, I think, the first 2 seasons, and then it just kind of lost interest. The same as the series Scream. I've wanted to go back to that series a few times. Like, I don't know what it is exactly, but it's like I would like it for a minute, and then I would just kind of It just, Scream never really got its hooks in me. I think it was too CW for me. I really like things to be more gritty, especially when it's series. There's nothing I love more than TV series like True Detective season 1. You know, stuff that's just Dexter. You know, it's just gritty and sweaty and, you know, and ugly and beautiful in the same time. You know, like, I don't know if any of you are familiar with my art, but that's what my art is always about. Actually, let's see if I can turn the camera and you guys can see. I have some of my art up on the wall over there. Those are some pieces that my sister owns, but nonetheless, they're still pieces that I've done. But yeah, I really, really like gritty TV series like that. Like, that's my favorite type of series. I actually really fell in love and really enjoyed that what was it? Something in Bones, that new Netflix series. Was it Shadow and Bones? I know you guys don't know what I'm talking about, but I actually was really surprised how much I ended up really, really liking that series. I ended up binging the whole damn thing in like a day. Like, I seriously think I watched the whole thing in one day. Maybe watched one episode or two the next day, but I think it was all the same day. Let's see. Brotherhood of the Wolf. That sounds super familiar. Maybe, but it does sound really familiar. I'm going to write these down because I will forget this shit. All right, so werewolf movies. Werewolf, see, write it down right now. Werewolf movies to watch. Dumbass with the forgetful brain. All right, let's see. So we're going to do My phone does not like that. It keeps wanting to add things to it. And then he said Brotherhood of the Wolf. I know that sounds familiar, but I don't know if I've ever seen it. Have you guys all watched... okay, it's a French film? Nice, okay. I do remember which one you're talking about now, and I don't know if I've seen it. So that is now on my list. The Wolfman is a big... I really love that movie. To me, the only problem with the 2010 Wolfman is the CGI does not hold up. It's unfortunately from like 2000 to 2010, the CGI done in those 10 years in a lot of cases just does not look good. And that's really the main issue I have with that movie. But if you can, it's kind of like the Thing remake, or not remake, but prequel. It's my same problem with that. If you, either of those movies, if you just kind of look past the shitty CGI, they're actually pretty damn good movies. And I'm with you, man. So if you want to call it a guilty pleasure or whatever, that's cool, because I'm with you. I really enjoyed it as well. Like, it's a cool movie, and it's great acting, man. Anything Anthony Hopkins is in, I'm gonna watch. I mean, I just love him. Let's see. I don't know a lot of horror fans who love it as much as I do. Yeah, Hemlock Grove was cool, man, and I was really surprised how good the transformations done in that show were. Like, I was totally shocked. I did not expect. I thought it was going to be really shitty CGI looking, and it wasn't. It was actually really dope for a series. That is a really underrated series, in my opinion. Like, the issue I had with Hemlock Grove is, I think it's the final season. So I want to say the first 2 seasons were awesome, especially the first one. But then it just kind of started losing steam. It did what Hannibal did. Like Hannibal, the first 2 seasons are brilliant. And then the end of the second, into the third, it just starts to lose you. And it sucks, man. But it happens. But I think maybe that's the problem with Hemlock Grove. Because otherwise, I feel like it would have a much better following. Have you guys watched Hunter x Hunter or Snoka or Wolf of Snow Hollow? Both those are movies that I recommend in the werewolf family, in the werewolf genre, so to speak. I don't want to give anything away, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But both those are very interesting takes on the whole werewolf stuff, you know. Oh yes, it died out. I finished it out. Yeah, it died. Yeah, same here. It's funny we're talking about werewolves, because I don't know if either or any of you guys are into like reality adventure type of stuff. But I don't know if you know who Josh Gates is. He does a lot of really awesome shows on Discovery Channel, like Expedition Truth or Expedition Unknown, I think. Anyway, and he has a new series that's on the Discovery app or Discovery streaming service. Is that it? Yeah, the Discovery, and it's called Expedition Expedition X, man, I cannot talk. And they were actually researching the werewolf legend, but I can't remember what it's called. The Bray Road, Wolf of Bray Road, or yeah, it's something of Bray Road, like Wolf of Bray Road or something like that. But they were researching that last night, and I love that kind of shit, man. Like anything to do with cryptids, like mythical creatures that could be real, or any of that, or alien stuff. Like, I'm not into that stuff like I'm crazy lunatic, but it all just fascinates the hell out of me. Like, I've grown up listening to Coast to Coast AM for, you know, years and years and years, like way back into Art Bell days. Totally. And man, how successful has Josh Gates become? He's got like 4 shows now. Like, he literally owns Discovery. He's kind of he's kind of done what Adam Jamie from Mythbusters, Adam Savage, which Adam Savage, if you're someone that is into cosplay and making things, his YouTube channel Tested is awesome. Like, he does these 1-day builds all the time, and he basically shows you how to make these crazy movie props from like sci-fi, horror, whatever. And I just love the dude. He's just fun to listen to. and watch build stuff. Like, but he's also helpful if you're into making things or artistic brained or whatever. But yeah, Josh Gates has basically done what Adam Savage did, you know, about 10 years ago, where like basically everything on Discovery Channel had his name on it in some way or another. Wolf of Snow Hollow, Chrissy. Hunter x Hunter is brilliant. It's on Hulu. I put it on my Hulu list, but yeah, it's on Hulu. And then Wolf of Snow Hollow, I don't think is on any streaming platforms, not any that I know of yet. So you still got to pay for it, but it's damn good and very, very unique. It was on a lot of the legit channels, top 10 from last year. The reason it wasn't on my top 10 is because it came out technically at the end of December, but I didn't even know about it until we were into January. It was this weird release time. And there's a good chance it'll end up being on my top 10 by the end of this year. It's that good. But it's very indie, very weird, very different. And it takes you on a really interesting ride. But I loved it. The other one is Wolf Cop. I'm sure you've seen that because of Last Drive-In. But if not, go back on Last Drive-In. They did Wolf Cop last year. So I guess it was season 2. They did Wolf Cop, or maybe it was season 1. Either way, it's fun. Really fun, campy, stupid, silly werewolf horror movie. But it's a fun, stupid movie. I love that movie too. Let's see here. Mike did Cool Werewolf by Night poster. Yeah, I love it. It's like one of my favorite fucking posters. Like as soon as I saw it, when I was like, "Yep, that's going up." And like I'm probably gonna rotate these out pretty soon, but these three are probably my favorite 3 posters. Like I have a bunch of posters over here stored, but I just love these 3, so it's hard for me to rotate out. But it's about time I'm gonna rotate out. I'm gonna do Shark Week coming this summer, so I'm thinking about trying to do a little more of a summertime set somehow. I don't know exactly what or how I could do it yet, but thinking about trying to do something like that. Either way, I try to every 3 months or so change up the stuff back behind me. Yeah, Wolf Cop is super fun. Like, especially if you enjoyed movies like last night when we on Last Drive and we watched Maniac Cop. Like if you can get behind movies like that with that amount of schlock and cheese, then Wolf Cop is that. It's just a modern version of it because it's only like a year or 2 old, but it's got that same feel in my opinion, and I really liked Wolf Cop. Like, I mean, you see a fucking dude's dick transform into a werewolf thing. Like it's gory and fun and just it's awful and awesome all together. I love that kind of shit. Like it's the reason I love movies like what was it? Turbo Kid and Hobo with a Shotgun, or Chainsaw, or I mean Machine Girl. Like just that kind of stuff is just fun. Anyway, so any of you guys got any recs for me? What should I watch tonight? Let me know. Please. I really need to figure out something to watch tonight. So I'm kind of counting on you guys to entertain me. The thing is, I've seen a lot of movies. But I do have like quite a few on my list of things I do need to watch. So I guess I really just need to be a good boy and buckle down and watch some of the movies on my list. start checking some stuff off. I need to figure out how to put music on the lives, because I always have background music on my videos now, and I feel like it just adds so much to the vibe and energy. And so I know there's a way to do it for the lives. There's a lot I could do on live, but I just don't know how to do it. Let's see, what do we got here? All right, Mike says, have you ever seen Pontypool? Yes, but it's been a while. That's a good one. I wonder if it's streaming anywhere, because that would be fun to rewatch, because that's been, I mean, it's definitely been a minute since I saw that movie. I saw it that first summer. So what? I can't even remember how many years now it's been, but I saw it basically that first summer when it was like a buzz, like everybody was talking about it. His House. Oh, loved His House. That is a very, very good movie. I wanted to review it. I still probably will. I did do a mini review on one of my Netflix recommendation lists, but that is on my list for one of the best movies of this year so far. Like, I love His House because it was able to do that whole serious, dark, powerful imagery and be, very disturbing, and yet still not be depressing and boring. And that's a really tough thing that a lot of horror movies have a hard time doing. Because, like, I'm just not a fan of super depressing shit. But yet, I love movies that are still powerful and have powerful imagery and have a lot to say and have a message. But just, you don't have to be completely depressing to where you make the viewer want to kill themselves by the end of the movie. And that movie walks that line, like, beautifully. It's such a good movie. Let's see. Yeah, Incident in Ghostland. I started it, and I need to start watching it again because it was one of the ones. It's on my list to watch for next month's Shudder recommendation list. So it's one I'm gonna watch. It's just like one of those where I'll start watching and then realize that I'm just not in a mood to be able to really pay attention to a movie, and so I don't want to lie to you guys, you know what I mean? Like, I try to tell you guys my honest thoughts on a movie, and if I didn't really pay attention to a movie, it's hard to do that. And so a lot of times I'll just stop it and be like, all right, I'm going to come back to this when I'm in the right frame of mind and mood, or whatever, or there's not people around me or whatever to watch this. So it is definitely on one that I need. Pumpkinhead is one of my all-time favorites. Like, I love that movie so much. It's so good. And the reason it holds up to this day is because they used practical effects, and it's like, one of the greatest, and not spacing on his name, but he's one of the greatest practical effects artists of all time, FX artist ever. And you could just see it. It's all over that movie. Like, it's just brilliant. He's the director. God, what can I remember? What? I told you guys, I'm horrible with names. And now I'm going to look it up. Stan Winston. Yeah. Stan Winston is just an absolute genius. And I have always thought that Pumpkinhead is so underrated. I reviewed it to more of a celebration of it last October for Halloween. Because it's like my first Halloween doing this channel. I did a lot of like my most favorite movies, but that also were ones that I thought worked really well for Halloween time of year. So if you go back and watch my Horrorween, I did a review of a lot of my favorites. Like I did Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. But I'm going to re-review Halloween Season of the Witch because I'm going to do all fresh Halloween reviews coming up. So, yeah, like I can't rank. I don't know. It's so hard for me to really do that, to rank things like top 10 and stuff. Like other than The Thing and Phantasm, it's pretty much impossible for me to tell you, but it would definitely be like in my pantheon, like up with my most favorite stuff, like up there with Cabin in the Woods, Evil Dead. I mean, it's right up there. It's hard for me because there's so many movies that I love in the horror genre for different reasons, and there's so many subgenres in horror. So it's like, how do you compare a movie like Evil Dead and the camp cheesy awesomeness of that, or Cabin in the Woods. How do you compare that to something like Silence of the Lambs? You know, I mean, yet we both are, they're both basically considered horror. So that's why it's really hard for me to try to do like a top 10 thing. But yeah, I agree with you as far as it being one of the best for sure. There you go, Stan Winston. You're awesome. Let's see what else. If you like extreme schlock and cheese and are feeling brave, yeah, Thanksgiving's awesome, man. I don't think you need to be brave. Thanksgiving is just a blast, but I feel like it's a movie that is a must to watch during Thanksgiving time of year. It's like, even though it's just a fun, gory, stupid horror movie and really could watch it anytime, there's just something about, to me, watching it that time of year. So I think I will review it this year for Halloween or for Thanksgiving. Everybody, like every channel does it at some point. I didn't just last year because I was like, every channel does it, but I'll probably do something along the lines of watching it in some way, shape, or form this year. It's stupid, but it is a lot of fun. I agree. There's like 3 of them now, I think, too. And I know I've only watched the first one, so I should check out the other ones. I know that they get even worse, but well, I never heard of that. Blood-sucking bastards. Okay. Yeah, I loved Mayhem. Like, I just watched it. I had heard about it for a long time, and it was on my list of movies to get to. And I finally watched it, and I was like, oh, and that's why it's on this month's Shudder recommendation list, because it's, dude, like anybody who has not watched Mayhem, if you like exciting, fun, like violent horror movies, like it's just a blast. It's like, and it never takes itself serious, which is another thing I love, is when movies realize like what they are and they just lean into it and they just have fun with it. And yeah, it's great. All right, so that was, let me write that down. Blood-sucking bastards. So what horror movies are you guys looking forward to the most? Like, what are the ones that you think are a must that I do a review of over the next, like, you know, the rest of this year or whatever? Oh no, my sister is going to get food. I hope I catch her in time. I would love some food. All right, Leah, if you are watching, yes, I would love some Jim Boys. If you could get me like 3 beef tacos, that would be brilliant. Yeah. And whatever else you want to get or whatever. But that's, as long as, you know, I'm good with 3 tacos. But if you want to get some of those little beefy, spicy things too, those things are amazing that, you know, that we always get. And I'm always like, why don't I ever remember to tell you to get more of these? They were going to do the new Halloween. Yeah. So I'm going to start this next Wednesday. You'll see a review of, yeah, I think with this coming Wednesday, I'll do a review of the original Halloween, and that'll begin every week, every Wednesday, reviewing another Halloween in succession, right? That's how you say it? In order, until all the way up until Halloween Kills come out. I'll review it, and then I'll do a ranking list. Like it'd be, you know, for Halloween, it'll be like part of the Halloween celebration is me doing the Halloween ranking list. I know every channel and their mother will be doing that as well, but fuck it, I don't care. Like, it's fun too, and I'm over the moon excited for Halloween Kills. I was excited for it last year. Now I'm twice as excited. Like, I don't know, I'm really enjoying being able to finally see movies in theaters again. And even the ones that I'm not blown away by, like Spiral, I'm still having a great time just being in theaters. The only one that I would rather have just not even seen, period, was my review I did, or the movie Separation. I did a review on it. And if you watch the review, You know my distaste and absolute hatred for that movie. I literally gave that movie a half a star on Letterboxd. Like a half a star, but that's literally how bad I think it is. I actually think it is a movie that is taking advantage of people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even right to put something like that in theaters and make you waste your money on it. You know, like if it was, I would have had way less issue if it was straight to Shudder and it was one of the movies that come out on Fridays on Shudder. I would have been totally fine with it. I'd been like, yeah, it's not that great. And that would have been the end of it. But no, this is a movie that's expecting you to spend between $10 and $15 to go see. And that's what made me so angry, because it is such a waste of time. And now I'm going off on a tangent again on that stupid movie. But other than that, though, I've had a blast just seeing everything I've seen so far this year in theaters. Anyway. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm going to see A Quiet Place on Thursday, and I will have a review for you guys up on Friday. So as I am flying to Alaska, I will be posting up a review for you guys on Quiet Place 2. And it'll be spoiler-free like always. The new Candyman. Yeah. I'm still nervous about the new Candyman. I want it to be... Like, I don't have any doubt that I'm going to enjoy Halloween Kills. I know there'll be things about it that I'm not crazy about, but for the most part, I'm going to enjoy it. You know, I just know it, right? I'm nervous about Candyman. I'm really worried that they're going to somehow just ruin what I love. And for so long, Candyman has been almost like this private club, because it's never gotten the credit it deserves. And it should be talked about right there with all the other legendary horror characters and icons. Like, to me, Candyman is right there with Jason, Freddy, Michael. Like, he's in that category. You know, that's my opinion. And he's never gotten that credit. But so now I'm like scared. It's like finally everyone's going to know about this gem, this amazing thing, right? Like, kind of like what happened with It, where it was like we all grew up with the shitty 90s version of It and Pennywise. And we loved it, and we knew it was kind of shitty, but we loved it, right? But then they did it in this big blockbuster form, and the whole world fell in love with it. And so much so that now most of us are like tired of seeing Pennywise on everything, because it became like so pop culture. It just got to be like nauseating. You're like, ugh. Although it was done really, really well, especially the first movie. So I still love Pennywise, right? It didn't kill it. My worry is that Candyman is going to be out there for everyone to see. It's going to become this public, popular icon type of thing, but yet it's not going to do the things that made the original one so great. I'm just nervous, but I'm still going to see it, and I'm still super excited for it, but I'm a lot more nervous for that one than I am like Quiet Place 2. I have no doubt Quiet Place 2 is going to be amazing. Just like I know Quiet Place 2 for a fact is going to be amazing. I haven't seen it yet, but everything I've heard, it's going to be brilliant. Halloween Kills, I know at the very least I'm going to enjoy it, but I don't know yet if it's going to be amazing. But I know no matter what, it's going to be at least enough that I'm going to enjoy it and want to rewatch it. You know what I mean? The Conjuring is the other one that I'm up in the air on. I'm kind of like, yeah. Like, I have this feeling that it's going to be somewhere along the lines of Spiral, that it's just going to be, it's all right, but nothing that's going to make you like, oh my God, that was so awesome. And that sucks, because the first two Conjurings have been brilliant movies. All right. Yeah, I did a review of last year of Peninsula. I reviewed it. If you want to watch it on my channel, it's spoiler free. But yeah, I reviewed it way back last summer when it was in theaters, and I was able to see it at the drive-ins. And I actually liked it. You know, like, I won't tell you the whole review in case you want to watch that video, but I liked it, man. I don't know why it's getting so much hate. Like, people hate that movie, and once again, it's one of those things where you gotta accept it for what it is. Like, it's not Train to Busan. You know, it's a different entity. It's in that same universe, but a totally different story with totally different characters and a totally different vibe and energy and all of that. And it's just a fun action, crazy, over the top thing, you know. But yeah, I already did a review on that. Um, Hold on, Kevin. So you're saying you've never watched the original Candyman? Yeah, Netherbat. I'm not worried that Candyman is going to be terrible. Like you're right, Jordan Peele on it. Like I have faith that it's going to be at least a solid, well put together thing, right? But he's just producing it, and that's my fear. If he was directing it, I would be much more confident that it would be amazing, right? But he's not. He's producing it, which means it's going to still have as a stamp of approval. But with producing, you never know. Sometimes producers are super hands on, and they're basically the ones that create and direct the movie. And then other times they're more just kind of like, I'll sign off on the checks, I'll sign off on the overall look and feel of this, but it's not going to be my baby, you know? And I just know I'm not saying it's going to be terrible like at all. I'm fairly confident it'll be at least good, but I'm just worried that it's going to. I don't know. I guess it's because I love Candyman. The original one, Tony Todd, is Candyman for me. And I think if you boil it down to it for me, it's that I'm going to have a hard time seeing someone else as Candyman. And the only way I think I'd be happy coming out of this movie is if you get to see Tony Todd as Candyman, and supposedly Tony Todd is involved in this movie in some way, but you see Tony Todd as Candyman, and then somehow see him basically pass the torch to this new guy. So now Candyman can go forward with new movies and a new Candyman, but at least Tony Todd gets that respect and everything that he deserves to get to pass the torch on. That's my worry, and that's what my hope is. So, like, as long as they do that, and you get to see him as Candyman still, then I think pretty much anything else I'll be cool with and happy with. That's my worry, is that somehow they're gonna treat Tony Todd in a way that doesn't give him that honor, and that we don't get to see Tony Todd that one last time as Candyman, hear that amazing voice, and like, so that's my worry. But we'll see. I mean, yeah. That's my worry. All right, Kevin. I cannot stress to you more how much I think you should check out Candyman. The first one is amazing. It is one of the greatest horror movies ever done, and yet, yes, it's dated now. So you watching it now for the first time, it may not have quite that same appeal because it is such an old movie, and that's always that tricky thing when you've never seen a movie, and it's, like me, I saw it right around the time when it first came out. But still, Tony Todd's performance is one of the most chilling, scary horror creature icons or whatever ever done. Like, it's just beautifully done. There's so much cool backstory to Candyman. Like, it's just a brilliant movie. I mean, dude, they actually hypnotized the actress so that she would look like she was actually in a trance, and that she would react that way to Tony Todd. Like, I mean, there's so much crazy backstory and lore and how this movie was done. Like, the original Candyman is absolutely a masterpiece. And then the sequel, the second Candyman, is decent. It's worth a watch, especially after you watch the first one. Don't bother with the third. The third is what killed the franchise, and it's why we haven't seen a Candyman now in 20 years or whatever, because the third was just a pile of crap. They didn't put much money into it, much acting time, whatever. They had a porn star basically as the lead actress, and bless her heart, she tried, but it was just not good. It's just a mess. But the second one is still fun, still cool. Not as good as the original, of course, but it's still good. It's worth the watch. The original, though, is an absolute masterpiece to me, and I cannot stress to you more how much I think you should check that movie out. Let's see. Yeah, supposedly, well, he didn't co-write. I guess he was involved in the script, and so he co-wrote the script. But I don't know if the actual story of it he was he is involved in this, and that's the thing. I just don't know how much he's involved in it. There's a lot of rumors. Like the biggest rumors with Candyman, or that they were so unhappy with it, they pulled it and actually did a bunch of re-editing and even reshot some stuff and put it back together. So, because I guess the test screenings of this Candyman, of the new Candyman, were not good at all. Like from what I've heard through Bloody Disgusting and stuff, was that it was like really, really bad, like the response to it. So I don't know what that means, because test audiences are so tricky, like who did you have watching it? Was it younger people and they just didn't get the story, the premise, whatever? Or was it diehard fans of the original and didn't like it? Or what? Did you have a bunch of old people? Like, test audiences are so weird, so it's hard to know if that means anything, but I don't know. I think it's going to be good, like I said. I just worry, I guess. It's not that I actually think it's going to be bad. I just worry. It might be possible to replicate the feel of the original Candyman. The world is very different now. Yeah, and I don't want them to replicate the original. Like, that's the thing about it, too. I think that would bother me if they just kind of try to redo the original, just kind of make a new version of that. That never makes me happy. I would much rather see someone like I'm a big fan of the 2013 Evil Dead, and it gets a lot of shit, but I love it because it took the basic idea of the original and then gave it a totally different feel and look and design and just made it completely its own thing. And I loved that. I would always rather see that. And that's my worry a lot of times. But because Jordan Peele's on it, I do think it's going to be modern, and I do think it's going to be a totally unique thing for the most part. But the story, the basic story you do see in the trailer, is basically the original story. I mean, it is really connected to that original story. So, but I'm not even worried about that. Like I said, I'm worried about how they treat Tony Todd, how he's portrayed, how he looks, that kind of thing. Like, do they really get the original and respect the original? And I just want it to be done right, I guess, is really all it comes down to. It's not that I actually think it's going to be bad. I just worry, Let's see. I think we can all agree in saying, do not watch the third Candyman. Yeah, the third Candyman is so bad. I mean, it's not Trolls 2 bad, but it's bad. It wasn't just scary. You got a feeling of awe from him. Tony Todd had the gravitas needed. Yeah, Tony Todd's voice and he was the most. Okay, he was one of the most unique horror icons ever. Like the way he presented, just with this elegance, but yet there's this absolutely terrifying feeling about Candyman. It's just so beautifully done. The way he did it, I mean, seriously, Tony Todd does not get the respect he deserves even to this day. He really should be talked about the same as England, definitely as much as Kane Hodder, and he's just not, and I'm not gonna say it's a racial thing. I'm not gonna get into that, but I do feel like it is a shame that he doesn't get more. I mean, he gets a lot of respect, he is loved. I'm not saying that, but not on the level and scale of these other icons, and I just wish that he would get more. And I feel like if he's sent off in the right way in this, it could do a lot for righting the wrong of Tony Todd not quite getting the respect he deserves, it's too bad we don't have a horror Hall of Fame. I'll tell you right now, if this channel blows up someday and this becomes a huge thing, right? That will be one of the things I promise to you guys. When you guys make me the president of horror, I will make a horror Hall of Fame, and Tony Todd will be drafted in or presented or put in to the horror Hall of Fame, right alongside of Kane Hodder and Robert Englund. I know I'm being silly, but legitimately, I wish there was a Hall of Fame thing so that all these different horror icons could all get their equal moment of sun, because so many horror icons, there's so many I'm not even thinking of right now, but there's so many throughout the years that have just not gotten the respect that they deserve because horror wasn't treated with the level of respect that it deserves by the film industry. You know, you don't ever see Academy Awards. I mean, like what? There's 2 horror movies, I think, ever that have been nominated or won a horror or won an Academy Award. I mean, it's just, you know, it's a shame. And that's fine. I'm just saying I wish there was something in the horror world that was to that level of prestige so that all these amazing, talented people would get that level of respect, you know. But, you know, someday, I think horror has continually throughout my life, I've seen it grow more and more and more. So who knows where it'll be in 20 years, 40 years, you know. Let's see. What else we got here? Agree about Evil Dead 2013. Yeah, I love 2013 so much. That's such a cool movie. 161 Days Till Halloween. Fucking love Halloween. 161 Days Till Halloween. That's hard to say. It's much easier when it's a single digit number. But 161 Days Till Halloween. 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 161 Days Till Halloween. Silver Sandmark. Blah, blah, blah. I must learn. I swear to God, guys, I have not drinking anything except this Rockstar. And it's diet to boot, so I'm not even hopped up on sugar. All right. And another stupid horror-like movie you want to check out is Bad Milo. Okay. Trying to get this. Bad Milo. Sweet. All right. Got that down too. My buddy is Josh. He was in here earlier. I don't think he's in here anymore. But he actually just finished his first full-length movie. It's a micro-budget movie. But it is so cool, especially considering how small of a budget it was done on. And it's legitimately a full-length movie. And he didn't just write it. He directed it. He shot it. Lit it. He edited it, produced it, like everything. Like it is so cool. And as soon as it's available, I will definitely let all you guys know about it. But it's going to be awesome. It's called Make America Purge Again, I believe is what it's called. And it's kind of an action movie, but it's a spoofy sort of on the purge, and it's just great. It's a lot of fun. Let's see here. Another stupid like the good Mr. Todd is great on Twitter as well. Yes, he is. And he's so good to the fans, man. Like there's very few people that are as genuine and nice to their fans. Like I've seen him in person, like backstage moments kind of thing where, you know, there's no cameras on him. There's no fans watching. Like he could be however he wants to be. And even to the most like menial guy sweeping floors, like he's just this really sweet, gentle, like really, really great guy. Yeah, I mean, he really does. And that's why he really does deserve, and that's why I really hope that this one gives him that moment in the sun. Because you know there's going to be a lot of people to see this Candyman movie. I mean, it's Jordan fucking Peele. Like, a lot of people will see this movie. And if he's treated right, like, I think that'll be a really nice, like, way to wrap up his career. Because he's had a lot of health issues over the last couple of years, and he's getting really up there in age. And, like, I just would love to see him get to be this badass one more time in a really cool way. So, we'll see. You know, I guess I should just put my faith in it and just, you know, I don't know. I'm sure it'll be great. All right. All right, so I'm gonna wrap this up here. I think in a minute. I really want to go to some conventions, man. Like, does anybody like where are any of you guys? Is there any conventions? God, my stupid tablet. Is there any conventions happening near where any of you guys are. Like I really want to travel somewhere to a convention sooner rather than later. So like if I know some of you guys where I'm going, that would be awesome to get to like meet some of you guys and go to a convention together and then maybe film some shit. Like I'm definitely going to the one here in Sacramento in August. I'm actually going to have a booth there, I think, set up with like give away some stuff and just talk to people about the channel, help spread the word. But I'd love to go elsewhere outside of Sacramento. Oh yeah, I loved him in the first Hatchet movie as the he was just like he was just a dick but funny as hell. Like yeah, that's a great scene. Yeah, I'm really glad you were able to make it too, Netherbat. Are you in the Ghost Pirate Facebook group? Because I really want more people in there so we can have these chats on a more regular basis, you know, because like that's where I post news that I discover as I talk to people and as I scout out things. And it's just a great place to keep up with the channel and to where we can kind of all be more of a community around this channel too. So if you haven't gone there yet, it's Ghost Pirate Entertainment, the group on Facebook. I appreciate you being here, Kevin. Like that's awesome that you actually found me through YouTube. It gives me some hope that YouTube isn't stonewalling me and they're actually letting some people know about me. That's awesome. It means I'm doing the stuff behind the scenes right as well, you know? Yeah, the Discord is down in the description, the link to it. It's not on this because I just didn't. This is just a quick thrown together thing. But if you go to any of my videos and go into the description where you see the Patreon link and scroll down, you'll see all the social media. You'll see my Twitter where I post some things, Instagram, Facebook, like all that. Because I also have an Instagram going. But the best place, I haven't gotten Discord up really running much. Like I need to get more people in there to get things going on. But the Patreon is going to be a great place to be like a VIP. That's really important to me. Like everybody there has a say. Like I swear to you, everybody that is a patron, even the $1 members all the way up to the 10, 20, whatever, each one of you is an executive producer. So literally your voices and your decisions on things are really important to me. So you can message me anytime and I will respond. But also I'm going to start doing more polls on there, more just live events. Like I really want to start doing commentaries, like where we all kind of watch a movie together and stuff. So yeah, the best place, you know, if you're willing to spend at least $1 a month is the Patreon because of that. It's just the easiest for me to kind of be able to get track of everybody, you know, and everybody takes it serious because they're invested at least $1 a month in. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's why the Patreon is so important. Let's see. Stream. I know you from Twitter, so that's awesome, Mike. Well, I'm glad you came across me too. This is great to like get to talk to all you guys, and you're all like recently discovered me. That's awesome. The Discord link? All right, I will have to search into that and try to find out what is wrong with that. I will post it into the Patreon because you just said you just joined Patreon, right? Thank you so much, Harry. Seriously, that's awesome. I'm super stoked that you just came across my channel. I've done a lot of these. I do a Shudder recommendation list every month as well as a Tubi, and then the other ones kind of rotate out. So some weeks it'll be HBO, some weeks it'll be Stars or like all the Hulu, Showtime, like all these other ones. But Netflix, I've done a number of those, but the ones that every month there's always a Shutter one and always a Tubi one. Those are ones you can always count on because those are the horror homes, in my opinion. Like Shutter, because it has all this original content that not a lot of people realize how good it is. And of course, it has The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob and Darcy. Like, that's family right there. And then Tubi, because Tubi is so deep for so much horror content it's amazing how much is there and how little a lot of people even realize is there. So that's why those are every month. I always do 10 recommendations to watch on those platforms. So and then Wednesdays, it's a variety of things. Sometimes on Wednesdays, I'll do a movie review or an unboxing. Like this next week, I'm going to probably do this month's horror pack because I get a horror pack in the mail. And so I'm going to do an unboxing of that and post that up probably this next week. But the other ones are always mixed up. But on Fridays, it's always a 10 recommendation list. That's, every week. And this coming week is Stars. It's 10 movies to check out on Stars. So anyway, that's just kind of a lowdown of my schedule, what I'm trying to do here. Thanks for coming, everybody. Really appreciate you guys. Nice. I'm in California, so hey there from Sacramento, California, the capital of California. All right, guys, I am going to head out. I really appreciate all you guys. If you could do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, hit a like, give me some love, that would be awesome. Find me on social media, like I said. But yeah, no matter what, I just really, really appreciate all you guys. Thank you, and I will see you guys next time. Oh, and horror can be fun. Almost